and you got people out there just trying to fix their marriages and trying to forgive, some pretty heinous things that may have happened to them. But there's so much to be done on an inner level, on a personal level, that really it has to start there and ripple out. There's just no way to really fix things. And not that anything necessarily needs to be fixed, but in our human condition, that's how we tend to think. And it has to start with really understanding your own divinity and your own power and your own worth, and understanding that there is just, I believe in oneness. So, everybody has their own belief system and everybody has their own path, and I'm not knocking any of them, and I 100% respect every single path that's out there that leads you closer to feeling that beauty and that connection with God or the universe or source or whatever it is you want to label it. It's all the same to me personally, but I think that I believe in oneness. I believe that there's this one divine power that we're all breathed from, that we're all an expression of, and that without one of us, it's not complete. It's kind of like this giant puzzle with different pieces, and we're all a little piece of that puzzle, and not one is more important than another, or not one serves a better spot than another, that we are all perfectly placed in this big one energy that we are breathed from. It kind of like taking a cup of water from the ocean. It's still part of the ocean. It's an expression of that. And then you can take drips from that. It divides out, but it's all really from the same source. We're all really one. And so when you come from that perspective, I think you do think about hurting somebody else. You recognize that when you hurt somebody else, or you judge somebody else, or you are having bad thoughts about somebody else, that you are really hurting yourself, because you're not separate, that we all are, have a common thread. And so I guess back to your original question, or just kind of telling a little bit about myself. I love the subject because there's so much for people. I think when people hear they're powerful, or hear that they are unique and that they already are okay, that resonates with them at some level. There's some part of everybody that remembers who they are. And when you can just touch that, and even just the most microscopic way, it does open that door for people. They want to hear more. They want to know they're okay. They want to know that they aren't going to be, that their life is not a disaster because they've made one bad mistake or one bad choice. That in the moment, in this very fraction of a second, you can change. You can change the way you feel about yourself. You can change the way you think about life. You can change the way you behave. You can change the way you react. But it's hard to do that unless you know the truth about yourself. If you're constantly trying to fit in, or to make others happy and get the kudos from other people to know that you're okay, it's very difficult to be proactive and not react, versus just living.
Good.
So.
Okay. When you're helping people to gain this understanding of their own divinity, and that they are part of the great oneness, and they are powerful and important, and all of that, what do you feel is the main experience that people would have for themselves that would reinforce all of this understanding and make it real for themselves in their own day-to-day lives? And can I venture to suggest that it may be something to do with them opening their heart and finding more love in themselves to give? Because I can hear such a lot of love in your voice, and I just wonder to what extent if we may say that love is perhaps a way in which people can take the understanding into the realm of their own personal experience.
The first thing that anybody has to do is be willing to accept new ideas, because up to this point we're programmed. The second you take your first breath, and maybe even prior to that in the womb even, or if you believe in past lives or whatever, you come in with a programming. And so you can't know what you don't know, but you can be willing to accept new ideas and to hear and to investigate and to say it's okay for me to open up my heart and listen with my heart, listen with my soul, listen with my gut, not with my head, not with my ears, not with what I've been taught. Be willing to really process new information in a whole different way than you've been taught to process it. It's about being able to hear something and be open to things that show up in your space. Pay attention, to be more aware. It's a decision. It's a decision and a choice a person has to make to explore. If they're feeling discomfort, it's because there's a disconnect from their spirit, from their source, from that love, which is what I would describe source as. It's love. There's a disconnect.